Hi all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to create a whimsical mushroom house and I'm going to give you a lot of tips on creating a fantasy scene. Let's get started. First I'm going to set the mood of the painting by setting the background. I'll be using sap green, pine is grey, lemon yellow along with black and white for the background. You need to plan some ideas in your head before you put anything on the canvas. Think of what mood the painting is to bring. Your color choice greatly depends upon it. For me, here in the background, I wanted to have a mystical, dreamy element, and that's the reason I'm using these colors. So, plan the mood of the painting well in advance. Imagine stepping into an ancient forest where the air is thick and mystic. It's a dense forest without much sunlight, so let's create some trees here. I'm using a sap green and white to just show some trees at the background here. Since we want the background to be also mystical, we don't want to show so many details at the background here. We can just have very little amount of information so that it remains still a mystery. If you are new to acrylics and want to get better at it, here is my free guide Better Your Acrylics, which has my favorite top 25 tips to improve your acrylic paintings. It is completely free and you can download it from the link book.modulacreations.com. Let our mushroom house stand upon this background here. I am not going to sketch anything today with a pencil. I am just going to go with the flow of my imagination. My brush is my pencil today. These are the list of colors we'll be using for the rest of the painting: scarlet lake, cad yellow, burnt sienna, Naples yellow, black, pine is grey, burnt umber, sap green and white. I have listed all the colors here, so in case you wanted to paint the same scene, you can pause the video and take down a list of these colors. For the roof, vibrant reds are a good choice. You can also use earthly tones such as browns if you want to show more subtle shades. For today, I am going to keep our mushroom house bright, so I am going to use a red. For the bottom of the house, I have used burnt sienna and white. And for the highlights and shadows, we will come back to it later to add all those details. Now let's start to add the below part of the house. Here I want it to be more greener. I also wanted it to have step-like structures, which maybe we'll add it later. But as of now, let's create this area. As I told you, I'm not doing any sketch today, but you can sketch the initial drawing on the canvas directly or on your sketchbook. You can also create small sketches and get an idea of how the output will look like if you feel confused on creating such fantasy scenes. You can also have multiple references to compose your own sketch. For example, you can attach these fantasy elements to a natural scenery or to a place that you have already visited. You can keep those photos as references and use them up. Now let's start to add some more depth to the mushroom house. I'm adding some darker colors. I'm just layering on top of it with the same colors that I've used earlier. I'm not going to change the colors anywhere. And I'm also going to add details. The details bring in so much depth to the painting and also creates an interesting scene around the painting. Let's create some doors and windows. Just remember to keep your perspectives right when you are creating such elements. Now I am going to add a window here. The window format, you can keep it in multiple ways. You can either have the roof as a mushroom itself, like a red colored mushroom. I'll show it to you when I'm doing the top on how to create that kind of a window. You can also keep it like a roof, a normal house roof. So it depends completely on your choice. There was a fantasy story that I heard long back where a mushroom named Oliver lives in a dense forest and he can grant any kind of a wish. Lily, who is a small girl who loves to paint and who loves magic, she believed that there was a mushroom who can grant wishes and went in search for it. Lily finally found this mushroom after an enchanting magical journey into the forest. Oliver granted her wish of becoming an artist who can paint any dream. The story goes on to say on how the girl became very successful after the people who saw her painting become mesmerized by her dreamy paintings. So even though it's a story, the point is that you can make people mesmerized through your paintings with your imagination and creativity. Now let's start to add some steps and let it go from the house towards outside down, and let's also add more greenery to the sides of the house. When creating each of these, remember to add the highlights and the darker areas to create the depth in the painting. We will come back to certain areas so that we can touch upon more details to it. You have to always remember to enhance your light and shadow for any painting that you do. So you can study different objects on how light interacts with them, and you will be able to incorporate them into your own paintings. As I told you earlier, the roof of the mushroom is going to be curved and round. So to show the depth, I am going to add the underneath side of the roof. So this is going to have just two colors, the Naples yellow and the brown. With the burnt sienna, I am mixing little bit of a black to make the darker values. So have you ever thought why mushrooms are particularly interesting elements for fantasy scenes? Almost most of the fantasy artists use it in their paintings, right? So there are several reasons behind the use of mushrooms in the fantasy scenes. Actually, mushroom possesses a unique shape, right? So you can convert the shape into different objects. Also, it has unique colors and textures. So we can change their appearance with the caps of various sizes. We can have vibrant colors for them. And we can also include whimsical patterns to these mushrooms. These points really help a lot in creating fantasy scenes with the mushroom. Now let's create the left side of the house. So here we wanted a big tree to be shown, and then we'll also create the foreground area. So for the foreground, I'm going to use sap green with yellow and white to show it little more brighter than the background that we have created. So this sets a scene for the front area of the painting. You can actually go as detailed as you want, but I'm going to keep it really simple here. Another important point with mushrooms is that they have unique life cycle that involves rapid growth and transformation. You can see mushrooms just appearing overnight with their beautiful caps. So mushrooms are often symbolized for personal growth, self-discovery, and used extensively for this purpose on fantasy narratives. Now let's make the top cap as a chimney here, and we will have some smoke that is coming out of it. This creates some motion and activity in the painting. Take your own time to add details to the painting. In this painting, I can keep working for days. I would go ahead to add a fantasy creature or some more intricate details, more flora, fauna, etc., etc., etc. So you can keep working on these details as long as you wish. For the time constraint of the video, I'll keep it very simple and short, for you to get an understanding of how you create these kind of fantasy scenes. Fantasy paintings are a very creative way of expression. There is no right or wrong things that can be placed in these type of paintings. So it is up to your own imagination. And as you can see how this painting captures the essence of a hidden world. I definitely want you to try something out of your imagination. By painting from your imagination, you do escape from the reality and you can embrace your own creativity. So definitely give it a try. You can also experiment the same scenes with different color schemes and combinations. Cool colors usually create a calm and mysterious feel of the painting, while warm colors usually adds a sense of energy to the painting. So try them both. So here is the finished painting. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what you saw and if you got value from this video, please click on the like button and do subscribe to my channel. Until we meet in the next video, have a great week and happy painting.